Hello and welcome to Zero Cool Gaming and today's show review. Today we're going to be talking about the TV show Columbo. It's an interesting show. Um, and we'll start with a review of it. And, of course, along the lines of all the shows that I seem to like, uh, the reviewers hate it. Now, I realize at this point that it might seem that I'm doing this, deliberately, but clearly I'm not. Um, I literally just put in Columbo reviews and I go through the first or second page and pull up reviews. I'm sure that if I was to search, 10, 15 pages of the search results, I could find reviews that were good reviews of the show. But to me, I'm under the impression that most people would not do that. They would just simply type in what they're looking for, and whatever comes up is what comes up. As a result of that, people who would read the reviews that show up on the first, couple of pages would think that this was a horrible show and it's not worth their time. And I do feel that that is absolutely deliberate. But we're going to go ahead and read a review. Not this one. I mean, it's obvious that this particular review is a scathing review of the show. The horrors of Columbo. It's like it physically hurt these people. This gentleman, or woman, I don't know, didn't really look. It's obvious that he had a bias against the show. Regardless, they were able to give you a breakdown of the show, and that's cool. I mean, at least they were able to do that without, being completely biased about it in the process. So here we go. It was clear from the onset that Lieutenant Columbo was the antithesis of a TV cop. He wasn't tall or macho. He didn't have a sidekick or squadron. He didn't carry a gun, and he wasn't violent. He was squeamish at the sight of blood. He would occasionally flash his badge, and Columbo never revealed his first name. You'd barely notice that he was even a policeman at all. There were no shootouts or high-speed car chases. He was hardly seen in the office or at the police station. He devoted his never... all that's not really part of it. Instead, with distinctive posture, exaggerated hand gestures, and a contrived forgetfulness, his habit of leaving a room only to return having remembered just one more thing became his trademark. Columbo stumbled his way around LA's mansions with a disheveled air of a confused gardener. Yet, as Lee Grant tells him in the 1971 episode Ransom for a Dead Man, it was always the jugular he was after. At any crime scene, he'd spot a little detail that bothered him: an out-of-place newspaper, a car tie track, a nightgown, an unsmoked cigarette that would set his suspicions alight. Investigations into the murder always duped into inadvertently helping always duped into inadvertently helping Columbo. Boy, that is not a sentence, people. They were always duped into inadvertently helping Columbo because of his humble ways. It was slow building, cerebral, dialogue based, and encounters that saw Columbo. Eventually, these would wear the criminal down with a mixture of astute perception and dogged persistence. Not so much death by a thousand cuts as mildly irritating prods on the arm. His unfailing politeness meant he often sympathized with the murderer and in some cases even liked them. Ah, no, that's anyway. You can see how this guy would always pull. And it gets worse. I mean, by the time you get to the end of this, he's completely lost it. This is just a review of the DVD set. It's not a good review. It's not a bad review. It's not a review of the contents within the DVD set, just the DVD set itself. And now we're going to get to the reality. And it's unfortunate, but it is the reality. And it's one that we have to deal with. And what does it mean to be too smart to be a cop? Sounds kind of backwards, doesn't it? Surely that can't be right. The reality is that we don't have any Columbos in our police force, and there are reasons for that, many of them. But mainly, this is the reality of it, as to why you will never see that, and why our police force, in many cases, are absolutely inept when it comes to solving crimes, especially murders. So, recently, the U.S. District Judge Peter C. Dorsey ruled the New London Police Department's rejection of Jordan because of his high IQ test score was not a violation of his rights. The court dismissed his lawsuit, and his attorney informed him on Wednesday. Jordan feels the new policy is ludicrous, primarily because the city, through President Clinton's Fast Cop program, received federal money to hire new recruits for the police academy, he says. This is the reality of our police force, and there are reasons why they have these policies in place. You might wonder why they wouldn't want officers and detectives with a high IQ on the force. The answer is simple, and all of you have seen it. These officers are more than willing to go out and arrest, Mr. and Mrs. John Doe for daring to keep their business open, while at the same time they will gladly bend the knee for people who burn businesses to the ground. These people will do what they're told. Period. They don't question it. Why? Because they have a low IQ. They only know what they're told. And it is deliberately done in this way for that exact reason. They don't want people who are going to question their orders. Period. Anyway, that's my rant for the day, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of yours.